If you are looking to get the limited time Seraphim Age Mask Universal Ornament as a 100% solo player, I have got you covered, and I don't care how bad you think you are at the game, you are absolutely capable of getting this helmet with a lot of the changes Bungie has recently made that make it getting significantly easier and make getting it a lot more accessible. Absolutely anyone can accomplish this just by watching this guide video and by contributing approximately 30 to 60 minutes of gameplay to getting the scores necessary to get the helmet. Now you might be wondering, why is this video so long, Mac? Have you been hanging out with Rick Cacus a lot? No. The video is so long because I am going to show you exactly how to get it on each class. So once we get through how to get the helmet specifically, what activities we're going to be doing, and what modifiers we're going to be putting on, you can simply scroll down on the little video time bar and skip ahead to whatever class you want to play to unlock this helmet. I will show you builds for each class and how you'll do the activities for each class to make sure that you can play whatever class is most comfortable to you. So for getting the helmet, it is worth noting that you need 100 points. Now, the way that you get points is simply by being top 10% in 2 of the 5 available call to arms activities. And considering that the score thresholds are now locked, that is particularly easy because once you go ahead and accomplish one of these top 10% scores, you are locked in. They are not getting any higher because once you lock them, we are good to go. Now, if we take a look at this Destiny 2 team tweet over here, the 2 activities that we're going to be gunning for top 10% scores in are going to be the Salt Mines solo op, at which we need a 2.4 million score. Very easy for us to get. And then the other one we're going to be rocking and rolling with is actually Proving Grounds, where we need a 2.43 million score. Now, I know you might be thinking, wait a minute, Mac, Proving Grounds is not a solo activity. How am I going to do this as a solo player? Again, the builds I'm going to give you today and the strategies I'm going to give you today are going to make it so that you are capable of soloing Proving Grounds and still getting this 2.43 million, regardless of how good you are as a player. And if you're struggling a little bit with the Proving Ground score, you can just as easily pick up 2 additional teammates if you'd like. You can find them on Fireteam Finder. You can find them in my Discord server, linked in the description below. You have a lot of options, but I'm going to show you how to do it solo if you would like to. Also worth noting that we're viewing this on the Opera GX browser right now. They've been an incredible supporter of the channel. And they gave us an affiliate download link linked in the description below. It's an incredible browser. I think you're going to enjoy it a lot. It gives you better in-game performance because it doesn't hog as many of your PC's resources, built-in ad blocker, built-in VPN, all that good stuff. If you download it, anyone who downloads it using our link in the description nets $3 for the channel. They give us $3 to make more videos and whatnot. So I'd appreciate it if you would consider giving it a try and supporting the channel at the same time. Now, before we talk about what builds we're going to use for which classes and all that good stuff, we are going to take a peek at what modifiers we want to run specifically on each of these activities. So starting with the Salt Mines, again, we're really only shooting for a 2.4 million score. It's also worth noting that Bungie changed it so that your power level no longer directly influences scoring. So you do not need to be 550 anymore to get these scores. Simply being 480, I believe it is, if I'm not mistaken, is what allows you to get the A+ diamond tier of scoring. That is all you need. So if you're 480 plus, you're good to go. If you're not yet 480, grinding power is very easy in Destiny nowadays. All you have to do is run around the portal and chase around all of the green engrams because those bonus drops are going to drop as powerful and your power will skyrocket super, super quickly. So once you get to 480, we're going to come over here on the Salt Mines, go on Ultimate Difficulty. The modifiers that we're going to put on Caltrops as the Banes, because it's the easiest Bane to deal with, in my opinion. We're going to put on the 5 Green Arrow Deadly Stasis Threat. That's going to increase stasis damage by 66.6%, but barely anything does stasis damage to us in this activity anyway, so it's not a big deal. We're going to throw on Blast to increase combatant splash damage, and we're going to throw on Grounded to increase the damage we take when we're airborne. None of these things are really going to matter that much, though, because we're using a healing-based build on all 3 classes, and we're taking advantage of some other modifiers that are going to make us particularly tanky, and so these high damages are not going to burst us that quickly anyway. Down here on the player stakes, we're going Pressure Cooker so that we have to complete it in the time, which we're going to do anyway to get bonus points from the score, or we're going to get bonus score from the time that we have left over. We're going to go with Touche because the loadouts I have for you today are all new gear and all featured exotics, so you'll be good to go in that regard. We're going to make sure we have Brawn on, so we're significantly tankier, and yes, we don't heal as much, but defeating powerful combatants generates us a healing orb, and we still have a decent amount of healing from the builds I have set up for you today. Finally, we're going with Extinction, where if you die, you return to orbit. I know that might sound daunting, but these runs only take you 3 to 4 minutes, so if you do die at any point, it's a quick reset. You're really not losing that much time at all. Finally, when it comes to boons, another change Bungie made is that for the call to arms scores, boons no longer negatively impact your score. So we want to load up on boons to make the activity easier for us. If you're rocking and rolling with Hunter or Warlock, you're going to want to go with Arc Surge. If you're rocking and rolling with Titan, you're going to go Solar Surge instead. Regardless of what class you're running, though, you're going to want to put Brawler in the second slot, and you're going to want to put Full Throttle in the third slot. Defeating targets without dying increases all outgoing damage, and Brawler is going to make it so that your melee abilities deal more damage and recharge much faster. Now you'll see right here with our reward score forecast, we have just under 2.4 million, which you might be thinking, Mac, wait a minute, for the 10% score, you said I needed a little bit more than 2.4 million. As long as you complete the bonus objective here and finish it within time, you are going to be more than handsomely above 2.4 million. And again, you do not need the HVT, the high value target. You do not need them to spawn. It is not necessary, not required for you to get enough score. So you really just need to do one run of this, 2 runs of this, if that, if you mess up on the first one, and you're going to clock that 2.4 mil more than easily. The other activity, like I said, we are doing Proving Grounds. Now for the Proving Grounds modifiers, it's going to be somewhat similar. We are going to come over here in the challenge modifiers. We're going to throw on Caltrops Banes again. Here we're going to go a little different. We're actually not going to do the Deadly Solar Threat for 5 green arrows. I know that might seem enticing because it's so much score, but there's a lot of solar stuff in here that hurts quite a bit, and it makes it kind of a pain. So instead, we're going to go ahead and go with Match Game because there's basically no shields in here, and the shields that are in here, we basically one-shot them with all the boons that we have anyway, so we don't care about it. We're also going to go Battlefield Promotion, because we are not going to be running Extinction on Proving Grounds. We don't want to get set to orbit if we die, because Proving Grounds is definitely a much longer activity compared to that of the solo op. The next one we're going to do is we're going to go Grounded, so we take a little bit more damage while we're airborne, and then we're going to go ahead and throw on Cabal Scorched Earth, where they throw grenades significantly more often, which really isn't that big of a deal. Sounds a lot worse than it actually is. On the player stakes, we're once again going with Pressure Cooker, we are going with Touche, we are going to stick with our normal starting ammo, and we're going to go ahead and throw on Brawn as well. Or I apologize, we actually are doing no starting ammo, forgive me. The other one that I forgot to mention as well, I apologize, we are going to be throwing on Blasts. So we're going to have, there we go. This will have you at 2.38 million. Again, similar to the salt mines. I know you might be thinking, hey, I thought we needed 2.43. With the little bit of extra time that you have in conjunction with if you kill enough enemies, if you defeat enough enemies, you'll get a little bit more score than the forecasted one. You'll be well over the 2.43 and you'll be more than chilling. Next, we're going to come down here. Again, similar with the boons. Arc Surge if you are on Warlock or Hunter. Otherwise, you're going to be on Solar Surge if you're on Titan. And then we're going with Brawler and Full Throttle. So those are the modifiers that you are going to want to have set up. First things first, we are going to show how to do it on a Hunter. For Hunter, we are going Pure Arc, Gifted Conviction, with high melee stats and at least 70 class stat. That is the only real thing that you need with this build setup. And with all of these builds, I'll have them as Destiny Item Manager links down in the description below, so you can easily copy them over. Notable things in our subclass are going to be Tempest Strike and Ascension in our aspect slots, Combination Blow and Gambler's Dodge in our ability slots. Gathering Storm is nice to have. I like using Pulse Grenade, and then our fragments are going to be Resistance, Frequency, Ions, Discharge, and Amplitude. Frankly speaking, the fragments might not be as optimized as they could be, but again, like I said, it's easy. It's so easy. Your build doesn't even need to be that optimized. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. And when it comes to our armor mods, I just like having, excuse me, I kind of messed up one of these right here. This is my bad. I like having a Solar and Strand Scavenger. We'll get to why when we get to our weapons. A Solar Weapon Surge. I like having a Void Resistance and a Solar Resistance, as well as Concussive Dampener. Double Heavy-Handed and a Melee Font, so I get Orb of Power Generation and more melee stat when I'm armor charged. Dynamo and Hands-On, so I get a ton of super energy whenever I'm dodging and melee and stuff. And then Reaper Time Dilation, Powerful Attraction down here at the bottom. This Siphon is not actually doing anything for us, but I don't have the 3 energy to fit a Solar Siphon to match the weapon that I am using. On the artifact, really only noteworthy stuff is going to be Shield Crush in conjunction with Anti-Barrier Scout and Pulse alongside Unstoppable Sidearm and Hand Cannon, because Barrier and Unstoppable champions are the only ones that we're going to be dealing with, and mostly we're just going to be dealing with them in Proving Grounds. As far as the weapon loadout goes, Mint Retrograde, any roll doesn't really matter. This thing's a beast. You know it, you love it. This is also going to be our anti-barrier weapon. Very simple. In our energy slot, we either want a hand cannon or a sidearm to take advantage of the unstoppable stunning capabilities. So stuff like Agape, stuff like Drang can also be pretty decent. Whatever you want to throw on right there that can help you stun unstoppable champions. Finally, in the heavy slot, we're going Sleeper Simulant. This is not going to be as important for the Salt Mine solo op, but this feels really, really good for the Proving Grounds, having a long-range high-damage option for some of the rooms in particular. Also worth noting with the Salt Mines run, you want to make sure that you get a bonus objective that is either ability takedowns complete or combatants defeated. If you get the weapon takedowns or you get the precision weapon takedowns, just go ahead and relaunch it until you get ability or combatants defeated. So, once we load in here, we are just going to sprint past all of these enemies, nothing crazy. And the basic gist of the Hunter setup is we are basically doing the slide melee activation Tempest Strike, dodge, spam. So we're just kind of stacking up our combination blow. We can use our Mint Retrograde to clock that. We can do an Unstoppable Champion stun with our hand cannon. And we're basically just rolling around ripping Tempest Strikes. That is basically all we are doing. It is nothing too crazy. You do not have to be good at the game to be able to accomplish this, I assure you. No matter how fancy the Tempest Strike may look, it is so unbelievably simple. Roll around, send the Tempest Strike. And then for some Thrall that are further away or something like that, you can go ahead and give a little hop and hit him with the hand cannon. Take him out. Boom. There's our 1667. That means this is going to despawn, and we can go ahead and be on our way. Can reload some of our weapons real quick. Get a little slide under, and we'll make our way over to the next room. Don't really care about that special ammo crate. Don't really need special ammo for anything. We'll load right up into this room, stun the Unstoppable Champion, hit him with the Tempest Strike, and even without any combination blow stacks, as you saw right there, he basically gets nuked. Pull out the Mint Retrograde to take out that Blight, and then we'll just use our combination blow / Tempest Strike to take out everything else. You can also do the Ascension instead of the regular dodge if you would like to. Oop. Missing. Probably should have Tempest Struck him. It's okay. Hit him with Tempest Strike. And just keep looking for enemies until... Oh my god, I cannot aim. Keep looking for enemies until you see the plus 1667. And then you'll be on your way. Now, because, like I said, we don't care about the HVT. We do not need to get an HVT spawn to get a top 10% score. So we are just going to do the little skip for this to save ourselves a little bit of time and get a little bit of bonus buffer score. We are not going to jump down here. We're instead going to actually jump up. So if we just go ahead and scale up this wall right here. Go ahead and climb up all these rocks. You'll kind of look to the right a little bit. You'll see this little hole. You can slide through the hole, fall right on down, and boom, we're basically already at the end of the final room just like that. We don't have to waste our time running through. It's not that big of a deal if you don't want to do that skip and you just want to run through normally. That's completely fine. Just kind of illustrating that you don't have to. So we'll go ahead and keep saucing everything up. Notice my health is a little bit low, so I'm just doing some combination blow spam because I get healing on every single final blow I get with combination blow. Go ahead and hit a little arc staff. Get that healing orb. Once we see objective complete, we can make our way to the boss. And we'll go ahead and run on down. We can hit him with a quick little Tempest Strike. That will be enough to take out the first quarter of his HP and put his immunity shield up. And we'll just wait for the Blight to spawn so that we can kill it and get access to the immunity shield damaging thing, whatever you want to call it. Hit him with a quick Mint Retrograde Burst. Throw the Gathering Storm real quick. Couple more Mint Retrogrades. That'll bring up his overshield again. Once we get him to 25% HP, he'll do a little cross country down the hill and then eventually spawn another Blight. We can go ahead and just kind of Tempest Strike all of the enemies on our way down. Getting the little damaging pod. Mint Retrograde, Tempest Strike, boom. Just like that. Very easy. And you're going to notice, remember, the top 10%, all we need is 2.4 million. And our forecasted was, I think, 2.38. But with the bonus time, with how much time we had left over when we did it, we clocked a 2.7 million right there. So you can be probably, how much time did I have left? It looks like I had like 6 minutes and change left. You can probably be like 3 to 4 minutes slower than I was and still clock a 2.4 million. So right then and there, just like that, you are good to go with your first top 10% activity. Now we find ourselves in the proving ground side of the equation, and I want to emphasize again, you do not have to do this solo. You can find 2 teammates from my Discord server, you can find 2 teammates from the comments of this video, you can find 2 teammates on Fireteam Finder, literally anywhere. You don't have to be in comms with each other, you don't have to be in synergy at all. But you can do it solo if you'd like. I'm just noting that if you're finding that you're struggling a little bit to clear it in time as a solo player, please do go ahead and find some teammates. Unfortunately, you will indeed not be able to get matchmaking in-game automatically because of the custom modifier setup that you're going to have, but you'll be completely good to go. Now, with this one, you get points for every enemy that you actually land a final blow on, so we don't want to skip too many enemies. That's not to say that you need to kill every single thing. You can skip a few, but you don't necessarily want to take like the skip over this ledge or anything like that, like one would normally do when you're in the Grandmaster Nightfall variant. Once this Barrier Colossus lands, we're going to take out his shield, hit him with a quick Tempest Strike. Make sure that you use your Mint Retrograde ammo to kill the turrets from long distance, the Scorpius turrets, because they can actually hurt a rather decent bit. But other than that, with Brawler, and we'll go ahead and send this inside the champion real quick, with Brawler and your Tempest Strike and your Gambler's Dodge, it's so simple. You're just running around, absolutely nuking everything with your Tempest Strike. I'm actually out of Mint Retrograde ammo, unfortunately, but that's not really that big of a problem. Just kill the Scorpius turret. We're going to take out this Unstoppable Incendiar. I also want to note in this Proving Grounds activity, it's completely okay if you die. There is no Darkness Zone in here, and again, we do not have Extinction on. So it is completely fine if you end up going down at any point in the run. You're killing enough champions that you're going to have more than enough revive tokens to be completely okay. You're not going to run out. You're not going to get sent back to orbit. So nothing wrong with playing a little fast and a little risky. I missed my Tempest Strike right there. Once we take out that Unstoppable champion, we're actually going to want to move around here. Getting to this guy and breaking the shield generator is a little funky. We actually kind of want to maneuver ourselves so that his shield generator is in between us and him, so he's not hitting us with his minigun while we're breaking it. I'll actually just pull out the Mint Retrograde. It makes it a lot faster. Then we can throw our Gathering Storm. We can go ahead and hit him with our Tempest Strikes, just like before. Hit another dodge, another Tempest Strike, and they'll probably just die. Please, thank you. I'm going to run over here and grab this special ammo brick, because I remembered that I had it right there. I'll get this heavy brick as well, and another special brick. Don't mind if I do. And then we'll simply make our way through here. You do not need a skimmer, and you don't need to do the, you know, skimming over that. I mean, you can if you want to. It definitely saves a little bit of time, but it's not necessary at all. You'll see with how much time I have left by the end of this. So right here, we'll come right back on. Hit another Tempest Strike, nuke all those guys, reload everything. Now, this upcoming room right here is where your target selection is going to matter a little bit more, and I'm going to kind of preface what we're going to do before we actually hop into the room so that you understand what's unfolding as I get in there. First things first, we're going to start by killing as many of the explosive barrels as we can in conjunction with killing both of the Scion snipers on the top left and top right with our Mint Retrograde. So I'll do that first. I'm going to kill all the explosive barrels that I can see, and then right out the gate, boom, boom, boom. And boom, boom, boom. Those guys are kind of annoying, so we just like getting rid of them right out the gate. And then killing all these explosive barrels so that the enemies can't blow them up on us. Again, like I said, if you do end up dying, it's not the end of the world. Then we're going to back up a little bit. We're going to use our Sleeper Simulant to take out these interceptors. All you have to do is land 2 shots on the interceptors from absolutely anywhere on them with the Sleeper Simulant, and they'll go ahead and go down just like that. We're then going to just kind of weave in a couple of Tempest Strikes to take out everything, so we're not getting smoked by a bunch of champions and mini bosses and things of that nature. And then check out these 2 Barrier Colossus right here. This is actually kind of funny. Whoop! They are both dead, just like that. That is how powerful this build is in conjunction with the boons that we have set up. You're literally just rolling around, Tempest Striking, Ascending, all that goodness. Sleeper Simming those enemies right there. And then once we get the tanks to spawn, I like first coming down here and taking out this barrier champion. He completely juked me though. He's just a better player than I am. But I'm going to go ahead and throw my Gathering Storm at this Goliath tank right here. That should, for the most part, take it out. And then I'll go back to take that guy's shield out with my Mint Retrograde. Looks like the tank has a little bit more life in it, so we'll throw a grenade, hit it with a quick Mint Retrograde pulse. I also recommend clearing out those explosive barrels down underneath right here as well, if you find the time to do so. That way, if you do feel like you have to go run down there and hide real quick, you have that option. Take out the Scion Sniper because he's annoying me. We'll then pull out the Sleeper Simulant. We'll go ahead and whip a few shots at the tires of this thing. And then when it's pretty low, you can hit it with a body shot. It should take it out. And again, I know it might seem difficult. I know it might seem challenging. It's not. And again, if you die during this section, it's completely okay. It will not reset you or anything like that. You can just respawn and continue with your business. And again, you don't have to solo this either. You can totally get teammates, and then there's 3 people doing exactly what I'm doing at the current moment instead of 1. One more thing I want to note as well, though, if you do end up coming down here to hide, I'm not going to go in there because I don't want to die. But this corner right here, if you walk like into this corner of the door, it's a misadventure. So don't hug this door at all because it'll kill you for some reason. I don't exactly know why it does that, but it's just like for whatever reason the game thinks that you're not supposed to be there and it insta kills you. There's like a death wall or something. So something to keep in mind. Don't get too cushy with that door. Going to continue on. At this point, I want to note that I have 9 minutes remaining. I think I'm on pace to have probably, I want to say, 4 minutes remaining on my timer overall by the end of this. So if you're anywhere in like the 6 to 7 minute territory, then you're perfectly fine. If you're in the 8-minute territory, you're doing stellar. If you're in the 9-minute territory, then you're matching my pace right now. If you're in the 10-minute territory, then you're better than me. And I don't really know why you're watching this guy's video. You probably don't need it to be able to get these top 10% scores. But I digress. Stun this Unstoppable real quick. Oops. Didn't have my little slide to take him out with. Chuck a little pulse grenade right there. Take out those guys. Grab this power core so that this door opens. And then we'll go ahead and rip another little slide. That'll take care of basically everything inside this room. We're going to take care of that Scorpius turret right there, because it'll beam us if we don't. And then we're going to run across over here to take care of this Scorpius turret. Then we have a Barrier Colossus over here. He's kind of far away, so I honestly like to just pop a quick sleeper shot into his face, make him put his shield up, and then I'll take him out with him in retrograde. I also want to note, you do not need to be juggling the core like I am. It's okay to let it sit on the ground and despawn, and then you can run back out here and reobtain it after you kill all of the enemies. There's not really a huge rush. I really don't think you're going to be scrapped for time. We'll go ahead and grab this power core. Bop, 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 bop. And duck her in. And that will then allow us to go ahead and hit the other wing to get the other power core. This area has a lot of Scorpius turrets, so we're going to focus primarily on the Scorpius turrets with our Mint Retrograde. One right there, one right there, one on the right side, and that'll do. I don't know where that Phalanx went. There it is. And then if I can, I would like to land a shot on the Barrier Colossus to take him out from range. So we'll just do that, make him pop his shield, a couple Mint bursts, and he's dead just like that. And then we can safely make our way over here. Whoops. That was supposed to be a Tempest Strike, but I messed up. All good. Take care of that sniper up there. We'll grab this power core. Come on. Thank you. Again, similar to the previous one, if you want to just leave it on the floor and let it despawn while you take out all the enemies and then run back and get it, that is completely okay. Same situation. This Barrier Colossus, I kind of like to take him out with the Sleeper Simulant to make him put his shield up from range, just because kind of pushing up on him is a little bit more dangerous with the, just because you have a lot of distance to close. Got some gladiators right there. Let's go ahead and get him with a quick little slide. Yeah, I see we have plenty of special ammo, so I'm just kind of letting them in retrograde fire willy-nilly. So we'll go ahead and continue right here. And you'll notice that at this point, I'm at about 8,000 score, because I've killed a couple more enemies than the activity kind of expects me to kill, primarily because in the intro part, I cleaned up a lot of the trash in the first 2 packs. That's going to make sure that we get above that 2.4 mark nice and easily. So I'm actually going to jump over here. I'll hit one Tempest Strike, actually, and then wait for this guy to spawn. Hit him with the Unstop Stun, hit another Tempest Strike, and then I know there's a Barrier Colossus somewhere around here as well. I might have killed him without realizing it, though, to be completely honest. I think I did. I think he spawned out of that door behind the Incendior, and I just killed him without realizing, because he gets one shot by my Tempest Strikes. So yeah, just like that. And then we'll ride this elevator up. Got about 5 minutes remaining before we get booted to orbit due to pressure cooker. But this boss room probably takes you 2.5 to 3 minutes if you're playing it optimally. So that shouldn't be a big problem. And again, I know I probably sound like a broken record right now. If time is that much of an issue for you, if you're not able to run it as fast as me, or you're struggling to make it in time, pick up 2 other teammates. You'll absolutely blitz through this. It'll be so easy. So we're going to run up here. And we're going to go ahead and clock this thing to start her up. And then I basically like insta-phasing the boss. So right when they pop out, they're going to come with all their meteorites, whatever. We can shoot a couple of them. All of them, I suppose. Hit them with a quick Gathering Storm. Hit the Ascension, so we become amplified. I just like basically one-shotting them to make them insta-put up their thingy thing, whatever it's called. I'll then fill up some of the trash so I can start stacking my combination blow and just, generally speaking, make the arena a little bit safer. We'll also have the unstoppable champions that'll spawn whenever we phase, 1 in each door. So we're just going to roll around, hit them with a quick stun, quick Tempest Strike, dead just like that. And we're basically just going to remain on the move, use our Mint Retrograde to take this thing out super, super quickly. And then we can get back to Tempest Striking and Mint Retrograding. Basically just rolling around, hitting her with a Tempest Strike. Again, because of Brawler, our melee regeneration is so fast that even if we don't get the refund of our class ability to dodge to get our melee back, it comes back so quickly that it doesn't even matter. So we can use it to just spam it on the boss, and it's really no problem. So we'll take out that mini-boss right there. Hop up here. We're going to stay on the move so that we don't get hit by the meteors. And then once that thing is dead right there, we'll go ahead and chuck our Gathering Storm at the boss. Maybe wait until they actually jump down to make sure that you hit it. Even so, though, you know, really not that big of a deal. A couple rounds of Mint. And right there with that run, we are at 2.6 million, 2.63 million, which is 200,000 more than we needed for top 10%. So if you literally just followed exactly what I did right there, then on a Hunter, at least, you are now top 10% in both Proving Grounds and the Salt Mines. And just like that, you have now officially guaranteed yourself that helmet, because again, the reward scores are locked, they're not moving up anymore. And you just did it, you're good to go. For the Warlock players, our build is going to be the Prismatic Slip and Slide build, aka the Feed the Void aspect, so you get Devour on ability Final Blows in conjunction with the Lightning Surge, which turns your slide melees into the Carpet Bomb that nukes everything. We're going to be pairing this with Arcane Needle, Vortex Grenade, Phoenix Dive, Song of Flame for a Panic Pop, and the Facets of Dominance, Dawn, Protection, Purpose, and Balance. Again, similar to all the other builds, I will have a dim link in the description down below if you just want to copy this over. You might notice as well, I have no exotic armor piece on. That's because your exotic armor piece doesn't really matter that much for this. You can go, you don't really want to go with a exotic class item, unfortunately, because they do not count as new gear, so you can't put on Touché for the bonus points. I've heard that Fellwinter's Helm is particularly nice with this setup, so if you have a Fellwinter's Helm that you want to infuse, go ahead and run it. I don't really feel like spending the materials on it, to be completely honest, so I'm just going to do it without an exotic to prove that it can be done, and you know, which means you got a leg up on me in the build department if you are running an exotic. I've heard Fellwinter's Helm is definitely the play. As far as stats go, we want as high melee stat as possible, as close to 100 class stat as possible would be nice. We have as many Phoenix Dives, and then maybe a decent amount of super stat. As far as armor mods go, we don't really care too much about, you know, Dynamo, hands-on is decent, double heavy-handed in conjunction with a focusing strike can be nice. Concussive Dampener, Void Resistance, Solar Resistance. I like Scavengers for our Solar and Strand weapons, as well as Invigoration for melee cooldown when we pick up an Orb of Power, and then Reaper, Time Dilation, Powerful Attraction. As far as our weapons go, Mint Retrograde, any roll is going to do you solid. Any hand cannon or sidearm that you like. Agape can be really, really good. Drang can also be really, really good. This is more mostly for champion stunning purposes. And then Sleeper Simulant I find is very nice, especially for the proving ground side of this activity. For artifact mods, the only thing you really care about is stuff like Shield Crush in conjunction with Anti-Barrier Scout and Pulse Rifle alongside Unstoppable Sidearm and Hand Cannon so you can stun said champions. Also worth noting for the Salt Mines run, you want to make sure that your bonus objective is either ability defeats or combatants defeated. If you get weapon defeats or precision defeats, just go ahead and relaunch until you get one of the two aforementioned bonus objectives. So, for this activity on the Warlock, we're just going to go ahead and run past all of these enemies to begin with. And the basic gist of what you're doing with Warlock for this build specifically is you're effectively just sliding around and pressing melee and you'll zap everything. We can pull out the Mint Retrograde to go ahead and take out care of this Blight, unstop stun that champion right there, and then you can just slide around and nuke everything just like that. That is all you have to do. It is that simple. Warlocks are going to have a little bit of shieldage on them, but that's okay. And as you can see with the Brawler modifier, we get our melee back so quickly, so we can do that basically infinitely. That's basically it. You're going to run around, slide. You can take out some enemies with the hand cannon if you'd like to as well. We're just kind of rolling around until we see the plus 1667. That will indicate that we are good to go and head to the next room. Once this Blight despawns, of course, which takes a second. Slide on through. Hit a little boost skate. And then once we walk into this room, it's more of the same story. We're going to go ahead and stun the Unstoppable Champion right out of the gate with our hand cannon, unless he decides to run away from us. I've actually never seen him do that. He usually... Dude, are we for real right now? Golly. There we go. Hit him with a Cha-Cha Slide. Run over here. Little Mint Retrograde into there. Get booped away. Very fun. Oops. Didn't do my slide correctly. And we're just going to keep on sliding away. Sliding around. Slide like this. There's our 3,500 for the bonus objective completed. And then we'll just kind of scan the room to find any additional enemies that we need to finish off to get the door to open. There's the 1667, which means our door is opening. Now, like I said, you do not need any RNG whatsoever. We do not care about the HVT. Not necessary to get a top 10% score in any capacity. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to skip this area entirely. We're not going to go down and to the right like we normally would. We're instead going to go up and to the left. Kill this thing right here just so it's not poking at me. Uh-oh. Can you tell I play a lot of Warlock with my jumping? There we go. So that's where you would go down normally. We're instead just going to climb up all of these rocks right here. You don't have to, by the way. You can go the intended path if you would like. This doesn't save an insane amount of time, but if you kind of hug the right side, you'll notice there's a little hole right here that you can hop on down and fly through, and boom, we're right here at the end of the final room, so we don't have to run through all those corridors downstairs and all that stuff. So we're going to go ahead and slide and then take care of all of these Scions. Just wipe them all out. Slide again. Caltrops one. Pop, pop. Pop. Pop, 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 pop. Take that guy out. And then eventually you'll get an Ogre to spawn. Pretty easy, just hit a little slide, couple hand cannon bullets, clean up what's left of the trash mobs, and then we are good to go. Go ahead and run through this door. And we're just going to hit the boss with a couple slip and slides. Actually, one slip and slide will take him down to his immunity shield. Then we're going to let him run around and wait until he spawns the Blight that we can destroy so that we can crack his immunity shield. Pop up here, hit it with a couple rounds, stand in the light puddle, shoot him to take off his shield. You can pop super at this point if you want to. I would recommend doing so if you are low so you don't die to like extinction or anything like that. Be careful not to slide off the ledge or anything, by the way. But yeah, couple more rounds of all that goodness. Hit him with an Cha-Cha Slide. And boom, right there, you're going to see that our point total, we're probably going to be somewhere around like 2.6 million, 2.7 million, which, as a reminder, all you need for top 10% is 2.4 million. So you could have done this probably, I did it with about 6.5 minutes remaining. Boom, there we go, 2.7 million. I had about 6.5 minutes remaining. You could have probably done it maybe 2, maybe even 3 minutes slower than me and still clock the score. Again, that's with no HVT whatsoever. Nice and easy. So loading into Proving Grounds, and again, I want to reiterate, you do not have to do this solo if you don't want to. You can totally find some teammates in my Discord server, linked in the description down below. You can also just find stuff on Fireteam Finder. You do not have to run this solo if you don't want to, although I am going to run it solo just to showcase that it can indeed be done solo very manageably if you would indeed like to run it solo if you don't want to go through the effort of finding teammates. In this one, killing targets does matter a little bit for our overall points. As you can see, we're getting points for every target that we defeat. So you do kind of want to not skip past too many enemies. That's not to say that you have to kill absolutely everything, but as an example, in this initial run, do make sure that you are at least like coming over here and killing this unstoppable champion and all that goodness. I saw him drop a special brick, did I not? There it is. So we're just going to work our way through all of these enemies. Pop, 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 pop. And then as you make your way over here, we're going to make sure we take out the Scorpius turrets with our Mint Retrograde. There's going to be one over there on the right and one over to the left. And then we are going to take out this Barrier Colossus real quick. I like to hit him with a Sleeper Simulant real fast to make him put his shield up. Then we can hit the Mint Retrograde to make him put his shield down. And then a little quick Cha-Cha Slide Burst will take him out. And then we can go ahead and stun this unstoppable Incendior. Hitting our Cha-Cha Slide on him. And just rinse and repeat, keep on doing it all day long. Oops, I didn't mean to throw that Arcane Needle. We're also going to want to make sure we take out all of these Scorpius turrets, because they hurt rather significantly. So just use the Mint Retrograde, click away at them. You can also pop your Song of Flame as well, at any point that you deem necessary. Probably the best point to do it would be when you run out of melee charges, so you can't do as many Cha-Cha Slide-ins. And you'll get it back rather quickly because of the build setup that we have. I also want to note that when it comes to the Proving Grounds run, if you do die at any point, it's completely okay. It is completely, absolutely 100% okay if you die, because we are not in any darkness zones. We do not have the extinction modifier on. You'll simply, and you have more than enough tokens because of all the champions that you're taking out. When you're coming to break the shield generator, make sure you stand so that the shield generator is in between you and the boss, so his minigun won't actually hit you. So once you break it, Cha-Cha Slide number 1, Cha-Cha Slide number 2, and that's it. Easy as can be. We'll go ahead and pull out our skimmer. You don't have to do the skimmer thing, by the way. It just saves a little bit of time, but you're going to notice that you'll probably have 3 to 4 minutes left over by the end of this if you're doing what I'm doing, so not that big of a deal. Little Cha-Cha Slide on those guys. Flip and slide, Cha-Cha Slide, whatever you want to call it. Now, this upcoming room, I'm going to let you know what I'm going to do before I hop into the room, just so you know what's going on right when I get in there. First things first, my 2 main priorities when I get into this room. Priority number 1 is destroy all the explosive barrels that are nearby me. Priority number 2 is use my Mint Retrograde to take out the Scion Snipers on the top left and top right. And then priority number 3 is use my Sleeper Simulant to take out the Interceptors. 2 body shots to any part of the Interceptor will take care of it. So, step 1, let's kill some of these barrels and whatnot. Step 2, Mint Retrograde, check out these snipers, because they are particularly annoying. And then step 3 is going to be to take out all of the Interceptors with our Sleeper Simulant. So like I said, 2 body shots will do the trick. There's number 1. You really need to worry about the 2 on the side for the most part. The 1 in the back you can kind of deal with later. There's number 2. And there's that. And as you can see here, the slide absolutely wrecks. So you can just kind of slide once. That'll get the Unstoppables to put their shields up. Oh, not the Unstoppables, sorry, the barriers. That is super annoying. He put his shield up right as I was about to slide. There's another Interceptor. A little sleeper shot to him. We'll take him out nice and easy. And then we'll just slide the rest of the way to clean everything up. I'm actually going to stop sliding for a brief moment because I want to get some of my charges back in preparation for the oncoming tank wave. So right here we have this barrier Colossus. We're gonna try and take him out. He sometimes likes to do a little jump over here. Nice and easy, take him out just like that. And then I like using my sleeper to take out the Goliath tanks as well. Couple shots into the sides of it. A little cha-cha slide on it. I can't really see anything, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop my Song of Flame to make sure I'm completely safe. Take out that tank. Probably good practice to just pop the Song of Flame no matter what once the Goliath tanks spawn. Not really a reason to hang on to it, I suppose. You can use the Song of Flame to take out both of the Goliath tanks rather easily, so, and they're definitely the most threatening thing in this entire area, so. And then after that, it's just spamming your slip and slide all day long to take care of all the mini bosses, all the bosses and whatnot. Oh my goodness. Take out that guy's solar shield. You do want to be a little careful of phalanxes because their close range melee attack can hurt rather significantly. It's like the one thing that can take you out in brawn. But again, even if you do die, like I said, it's not that big of a deal. As you can see, I have 11 revive tokens. We do not have extinction on, so if I do go down, it's not that big of a deal. No such thing as darkness zones with the current modifiers I have, so it's really not too much of an issue at all. One more thing I do want to note as I'm making my way to the next room. In the previous room, the underneath part that people usually gravitate towards for hiding, be careful of hugging the door down there, because for whatever reason, the door has like, there's a little area in the corner of the door where if you touch it, it automatically kills you. It's like a misadventure. I don't really know why it's a thing, but something to keep in mind if you do decide to go down there. Although with this build, with how much healing you have with the Bower, with how much you're nuking everything, with the slip and slide right away, you probably won't really need to hide down there that much anyway. Trying to find the unstoppable champion. Oh, I did hit him. Cool. So we can hit him with a little slide. Nice and easy. Throw a grenade. Pick up this power core. You can drop the power core as well. You don't need to carry it the entire way. Kill that Scorpius turret on our left side, and then I like to sprint right down in here to kill the other Scorpius turret. This barrier Colossus is kind of annoying, so I like actually taking him out from range, or at the very least stunning him from range with the sleeper, and then taking him out with the mint. And then we'll clean up the rest of the ads, and then once we take out everything, we can run back and go and get the power core. We have more than enough time to do so. Currently got 8 minutes left. As long as you're currently sitting at, like, I would say if you're at this point with like 6.5 minutes left, 7 minutes left, you're more than okay. We'll go ahead and dunk that bad boy right there. And then we'll make our way to the other wing to get the other core. In this wing, we do have a couple Scorpius turrets that we want to take care of. So we got one right in front of us, one on top to the left, and then one on the far right. Sorry, you can see that one a little bit. Then I like to try and take out the barrier Colossus from range. Otherwise, he's a little annoying. So we'll hit him with a sleeper shot. That'll make him put his shield up, mint retrograde the rest of the way, and poof, he is dead. And we can safely run over here, take everything out, grab the power core, and again, similar to the previous power core, you do not have to juggle this or take it all the way across. You can simply drop it and then run back and go and get it afterwards. I'm actually going to see... I'm going to try and, just in the interest of time, I am going to go ahead and dunk it real quick. Again, you do not have to do what I just did there. You can safely clear out all the enemies. You do not have to rush direct to the power core. You can if you want to. It's up to you. Take care of everything. We'll run in here. I kind of like going on the right side because that's where the champions spawn from, so we'll take out that unstoppable. And then we also have a barrier. He'll put his shield up. Hit a little slide. That'll take care of him. Slide the rest. And just like that, we are on to the boss room. So we'll reload all our weapons, all that goodness. And yeah, about 6.5 minutes left. Boss room, if you're playing effectively, should probably take you 2.5 to 3 minutes. So if you're walking into the boss room with, I don't know, 4.5 minutes, you're in a more than okay spot. If you're walking in with like 2.5, 3 minutes, it's a little tighter. But again, if you are struggling to get it done within the pressure cooker time, like I said, you can always find 2 teammates to run this with, and you'll surely get through it significantly faster. Be more than okay. So, we'll go ahead and run up here, getting the right improving. I like to basically burn the boss right away. Well, first things first, let's take care of some of these meteors. Throw our grenades so we get him with the weaken, with the passive dominance, and we'll hit a couple slides. Throw a couple mid retrogrades in the mix. And then once we have them phased, I'm going to run over here, pop my Transcendence, I suppose, and we're going to take care of these Unstoppables right away that will spawn out of these side doors. Other one's going to be over here. We're also going to always be on the move to make sure that the meteors don't hit us. If they do hit you, though, again, it's not the end of the world to lose, to die once or twice or even a billion times, to be quite frank. Ah! See, I might go down here. Remember how I said the Phalanx melee hits hurt quite a bit? That was a good example of that. We use the Mint Retrograde to take care of that bad boy. And relatively easy. Go ahead and hit our Phoenix Dive. Try and get some Devour procs going so we get our healing back. Once we phaser again, once again, we'll have some Unstoppable champions. So we'll take one in each side door, take them out real quick, nice and easy. Dead just like that. Stay on the move so the meteors don't hit us, and then we're going to hop up, use our Mint Retrograde to take out the shield generator. It takes about 3 bursts. Nice and easy, and then once we take it out, we can hop down on the floor, kind of cycle in between Mint Retrogrades and lightning surges and all that goodness. Mixing, you know, whatnot. So yeah, I think that boss room took me personally like 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes maybe. And as you can see, just like that, we clock a 2.63 million. Just as a reminder, to be top 10%, you needed 2.43 million. So even if you're doing it like 2-3 minutes slower than me, you're still going to be more than good enough to get that reward score. And if you have just successfully done this in conjunction with the Salt Mines one, then congratulations as a Warlock. You have officially earned the Call to Arms helmet because those scores are not going up anymore. So you're now top 10% in both. You got it locked in. Congratulations. For the Titan players, your build is going to be extremely simple in Worm God Caress, where melee kills increase your melee damage, alongside the Hammer of Soul Super, Throwing Hammer Solar Melee, Healing Grenade, Soul Invictus, and Roaring Flames aspects. Your fragments, you can copy this if you want to. Not really that big of a deal. Again, I will have Destiny Item Manager links in the description of this video if you just want to copy whatever I have on. As far as stats go, relatively high super in conjunction with relatively high melee stats. As far as our armor mods go, Hands-On and Dynamo feel nice, Harmonic Siphon, double heavy-handed in conjunction with a melee font, Concussive Dampener along with Solar Resistance, and I probably like having a Void. You can go double Solar or a Void if you want, doesn't matter, it's up to you. On the boots, Strand and Solar Scavengers alongside a Solar Weapon Surge, and then finally on the class item, Time Dilation, a Bomber modifier, and Reaper. Now, when it comes to weapons, Mint Retrograde, any roll is completely fine, doesn't really matter. You are going to want a Solar Hand Cannon or Sidearm for Unstoppable champion stunning capabilities, so stuff like Agape is fantastic, stuff like Drang can work as well. And then finally, the Sleeper Simulant in the heavy slot. This is more so for the Proving Grounds run. For the Salt Mines run, you can kind of run whatever you want. As far as artifact mods go, all we really care about is Diviner's Discount, Anti-Barrier Scout and Pulse, Unstoppable Sidearm and Hand Cannon, and Shield Crush. That is really the only important stuff that we need to run with. One additional thing I also want to mention, if you are running the Titan setup, you want to make sure that your keybinds, specifically for your melee, are utilizing the charged melee and uncharged melee keybinds as opposed to the auto melee. So take whatever your typical melee button is and bind it to charged melee and uncharged melee. Yes, you can do this on controller as well. That's simply going to make this so that it doesn't prioritize your basic melee over your throwing hammer in any situation in which you're too close to an enemy, even if your throwing hammer is up. I also want to mention, when it comes to the Salt Mines, you want to make sure your bonus objective is either ability takedowns or combatants defeated. If you load in and you get weapon final blows or precision weapon final blows, just go ahead and relaunch until you eventually get an ability takedowns or a combatants defeated. For this run, on the Titan, we're just going to skip past all of these introductory enemies. We're just going to run right on past, and we're going to come straight to this Blight, have our Mint Retrograde out. One burst will be enough to take it out, and then we'll just start nailing stuff with our Throwing Hammer. We'll go ahead and stun this Unstoppable champion, Throwing Hammer the day away, and it's really as simple as just chuck your Throwing Hammer around. It is that easy. You run up to everything, you launch your Throwing Hammer, just like this. You don't necessarily have to do it on the Thrall, I suppose. You can do a little bit of these wizards are a little dangerous, by the way, so be kind of careful of them. They hurt quite a significant amount with their solar blasts and whatnot. I missed my throwing hammer, and this guy's slowing me. It's a little bit annoying, but it's okay. It's also worth noting, if you do end up losing your throwing hammer, it's really not a big deal because of the Brawler modifier and because of your Soul Invictus ability regeneration with your sunspots. You get it back so quickly that even if you do throw it and you misplace it, you don't know where it is, you'll get it back in like 3 seconds or something like that. It's that fast. When we walk into this room, we're just going to instantly kill the unstoppable Taken Phalanx. Quick little stun with our hand cannon and or sidearm. 2 throws will go ahead and do the trick. And then we'll go ahead and mop up the rest of the Scions. Mid-retrograde to put a quick little burst in there to take it out. And then we'll just hand cannon and throwing hammer the rest of the trash mobs until we see that plus 1667. That will indicate to us that it is time to go to the next room. So it typically gets maybe like 1 additional ad wave of the spawns. Typically get a Caltrops guy right there. Or whatever Bane you select, I suppose. Come on. There we go. There's our 1667, which means we are clear to go. Now, because we do not care whatsoever about the HVT, we do not need the HVT to get enough points to get a top 10% score with the strategy I'm showing you. We don't care about any RNG whatsoever. We are just going to skip the area where the HVT spawns. So typically you would run down here to continue with the activity, and you can run down there if you want to. Me personally, I like going up here because it just saves a little bit of time. So we're going to go up into the left, and we're just going to kind of use our jump to climb up all of these rocks. And we're going to kind of keep an eye. Once our screen goes a little dark, we're going to keep an eye on the right side. You'll see a little hole in the wall, and you can fall right on through here. Make sure you kind of activate your jump as well so you don't take too much damage on your fall. And boom, we're already right here in the 3rd room. Saves a little bit of time. Not really necessary if you're having a tough time finding where to go. We're seeing like where that hole is or something like that. You can just do the typical angle. Not really the end of the world. But I like it because it saves a little bit of time. And if we don't care about the HVT, then why bother, right? It's also nice that we don't have to care about the HVT because it means there is really no RNG involved in this whatsoever. So you don't have to spam like 20 runs until you finally get one with an HVT for your score. Because that was kind of annoying. Chuck the throwing hammer at the ogre, clean up the rest of the mobs. And what's really nice about Titan for this setup, specifically with the sunspots, is that they will automatically glitch and cheese the boss's shield, so we actually don't have to wait for any of the blights to spawn or anything like that. So if we just insta-pop hammer, yes, he puts his shield up, but the sunspot instantly breaks it. And then with the solar surge, with the brawler modifier, with our super stat, like, come on, you know what I mean? He dies so fast. And just like that, I've got like 7 minutes remaining. You could have probably done it 3, 4, maybe even 5 minutes slower than I did, and you would still have more than enough score to get a top 10%, because as if you recall, top 10% score was 2.4 million. I clocked 2.73 right here, so you're going to be good to go on the salt mines. I would be surprised if it takes any of you longer than 2 runs to go ahead and clock that 1% score with this strategy. Now, as we load into Proving Grounds, I just want to reiterate, whilst I am doing this solo, and you can totally do this solo as well, if you want to, you can find teammates for this. You are allowed to find teammates for this, either in the Discord server linked in the description down below, or you can just find them on Fireteam Finder or something like that, if anyone even still uses Fireteam Finder. If you are struggling to beat this in the time allotment, since we do a pressure cooker on, please feel free to find teammates if you are struggling a little bit. That being said, we're going to get off to the races. We do actually care about killing a decent amount of the enemies in here, or at the very least not skipping past extremely large packs, because as you're noticing, we do get points for every single enemy that we kill. So that is going to influence our score a little bit, and we want to make sure that we safely have that 2.4 million. Oh, come on, don't put your shield up. Thank you very much. As we get up to this hill, our main priorities are going to be the Scorpius turrets on the right and left sides right there, in conjunction with the barrier Colossus. But as you can see here, we're just kind of running through, chucking ye old throwing hammer at absolutely everything. Maybe throwing in a healing grenade if we're getting a little weak. Whoa, whoa, whoa! That's embarrassing, is it not? Not my fault. That rock right there is a paid actor, but it's a good demonstration to indicate if you die, it's not a big deal. It's completely fine. Because if you do end up going down, you just lose a revive token. There's no darkness zones. We don't have extinction on, so you're not going to be going to orbit or anything like that. It's completely okay. Not that big of a deal. Big priority is taking out all 3 of those Scorpius turrets in there because they do hurt rather significantly, as you just saw. And then we can get back to business throwing, hammering, everything. Now we're going to try and bait this Unstoppable over here. Bonk, he is gone. And then we'll go ahead and get this boss over here to 50% HP. Should just take 2 throwing hammers. And then we'll make way over here to spawn camp this door. Unless the boss is slowing us with its stomps and all that nonsense. I'm going to pop my super real quick because the boss is lasering me in the butt. And I don't really want to go down. Ideally, take out all those enemies. Now, once you come over here to take out... Oh, come on, buddy. Once you come over here to take out this thing, you do want to position yourself in between... Or you want to position it so it's in between you and the boss, so that his bullets will just go right into it as you are shooting at it. Oh, come on. Then retrograde, and then once we break it, we can go back to Throwing Hammer City. I actually don't have my Throwing Hammer really stacked up at all, though, so maybe mix in a few mint retrogrades. Ideally, I would have Roaring Flames, plus my Worm God Caress right there stacked up, but even without it stacked up, really not that big of a deal. So we'll go ahead and be on our way, do a little skimmer cheeky action. You don't have to do that stuff if you don't want to, but we'll save you a couple seconds. Can't hurt, right? And then we'll have a couple dudes right here. Chuck a healing grenade so we get a little bit of healing back. Won't be a crazy amount because we have Brawn on, but we'll get it back relatively quickly because the sunspots that we're standing in, easy peasy. So we're going to reload all our weapons. As we make our way into this next room, we have 3 priorities. Priority number 1 is going to be to take out all of the explosive barrels around. Priority number 2 is going to be to take out both of the Scion snipers on the top left and right with our mint retrograde. Priority number 3 is going to be to use Sleeper Simulant to body shot the interceptors to take them out right away. So priority number 1, taking out these explosive barrels real quick. Priority number 2, pull out the mint. There's 1 Scion, there's 2 Scion, and now we are on to priority number 3. We're just going to keep an eye out on these interceptors. 2 Sleeper Simulant shots to any part of the interceptor will take them out rather quickly. And then there's 1 in the back as well, usually. I don't see it, though, so I guess we'll just deal with it whenever we end up finding it. I'm going to slide down here a little bit, take out some of these more explosive barrels and whatnot, and slowly creep up. Also, in this room, don't stand, like, right here. If you kiss this door, you'll get, like, a misadventure for some reason. I don't exactly know why, but you just die if you go right there, which is obviously not ideal. Go ahead and continue just chucking throwing hammers all day long. Throwing hammer, throwing hammer, throwing hammer. I kind of want to back up a little bit and find this other interceptor. Because the interceptor's up. There he is. I see him. Oh, I missed. There we go. That takes care of all the interceptors, which means for the most part, it's pretty tough for us to die now unless we're getting, like, blasted by some of the Cabal. It's pretty funny, too. You just one-tap the barrier Colossuses. Colossuses? Oh. If you ever lose your throwing hammer, by the way, really not that big of a deal. With the Brawler modifier, you get it back so quickly. So if you do end up, like, misplacing it, don't stress too much. You'll get it back pretty much instantly. Then once we... Oh, my God. What a throw. Once we have the tanks come out, we're going to go ahead and just use the Sleeper Simulant. 1 shot in each tire plus 2 body shots. We'll go ahead and take out the tank. So I like just insta-nuking one of the tanks on one of the sides, and that basically makes a safe side for me, if that makes sense. Unless the other one decides to rotate over. But that's fine. Sleeper Simulant on the tires. 1 shots him right away. Let me take care of that explosive barrel. I'm not messing with that. And then it's basically just clean up with the throwing hammer. And again, if you die at any point during this this part of the activity, you are more than okay. It'll just eat up one of your revive tokens. You're killing enough champions where you're really not going to utilize too many of your revive tokens, and you're going to be more than okay. And like I said, it's not a darkness zone or anything like that, so you'll just respawn and continue with the room. You won't have to, like, redo any part of it or anything of that nature. So we'll go ahead and hop on down here. Reload everything. Reload all that goodness. There we go. Make our way down here. We do have an unstoppable coming up right here, so I'm going to try and see if I can like sneak a bullet on him. Ready up my hand cannon. Nice. Also, boop, and boop, and boop. And then this guy, shielded guy, kind of annoying. Stun him so we can get a clean hammer throw on him. A little mid-retrograde, grab this power core. And then we're just going to drop it right away. We'll let it despawn. It's really not that big of a deal. We'll let it despawn so we can just take care of all these enemies. Scorpius turret on the left side. Then we're going to run through to take the other Scorpius turret on the left side. Completely miss all of our mid-retrograde shots. And then this barrier Colossus back here is kind of annoying, I'm not going to lie. So for this one, I like just kind of hitting him with a sleeper shot to take him out. Because running up to him and trying to throw and hammer him. He has like the solar minigun, which hurts a pretty decent amount. So I just like to beam him from far away. We don't really use our sleeper simulant ammo for too much else for the rest of this run, so it's not that much of a concern. Go ahead and skate the day away with the power core. Get our good old dunk in, and then we will take care of the other wing. In this wing, we got a couple Scorpius turrets that we're going to want to deal with, so take care of both of these phalanxes. One will be directly in front of us, one will be up and to the left, and then the other will be over far right. We're then going to pull out our sleeper simulant, similar to the other barrier Colossus. I like just kind of chunking this one right away with the sleeper plus the mid-retrograde. And then we'll make our way over here. Throwing hammer the tanky Scion. Clean up all the trash. And then we can pick up this power core, same as before. Similar to before, you can drop it and let it despawn if you want. There's not really a rush or anything like that. I am going to try and rush it, though, just in the interest of time. That guy is really the... Oh, come on. There we go. Pick up all these brawn healing orbs. Again, probably shouldn't do what I'm doing. Probably just clear out the enemies, and... I mean, you can if you want to. Again, if you die, it doesn't really matter. Just respawn and get back to business. Completely overthrew my hammer there. And then more of the same. Throw and hammer, all that goodness. Take out the unstop. Chuck a hammer at the barrier. Kill the phalanxes. Nothing too crazy, nothing too difficult. I'm gonna pick up these brawn healing orbs. And we're heading up to the boss room with about 6 minutes remaining. If you're playing optimally, the boss room takes like 2.5 minutes-ish. So if you're walking into the boss room with like 3.5, 4 minutes left, anything like that, then you're going to be more than okay. And with the builds we have set up, you're just spamming your melee at everything. It's not that bad. And again, if you are struggling to do this in time a little bit, since we do have pressure cooker on and you do have to do it within the time limit, go ahead and grab some backup. Grab a teammate or two, and you'll be more than okay. You also want a little bit of bonus time as well for the bonus score that you get from it to guarantee that you're over that 2.43 mil. So we'll go ahead and begin the right improving. I like to basically phase the boss right away so that I can spawn a shield generator and rush the unstoppable incendiaries. Nope, completely missed the hammer. Whatever, that's fine. Hammer of Soul will more than comfortably take out the boss. Go ahead and stun this unstoppable. A couple throwing hammers to do the trick. There's going to be another unstoppable over here on the other side. Want to make sure we're staying on the move as well so that the meteors do not hit us. And then we'll just use our mid-retrograde to take out the shield generator. Those meteors are going to be kind of tight. There's a couple trash mobs up, specifically phalanxes, so I'm just going to try and take out some of these phalanxes first. Maybe kill a couple of the trash mobs with my throwing hammer so I get my Worm God Caress stack in, my Roaring Flames. Then we can phase the boss. Bang, bang, bang. And then once we phase her again, we're going to get 2 more Unstoppable Champions. We'll just kind of load up an Unstoppable shot. Spawn camp one of them. Pop. Hope you had fun. And then we'll go and grab the other one over here just to make sure that we're getting all the points. Pop. And then once both of those fellas are dead, we can go ahead and hop up here. And then the boss will jump down. A couple throwing hammers will do the trick. You can mix in some mid-retrograde as well if you'd like. And just like that, nice and simple. that had us at 2.49 million, which is a little tight, admittedly, because we are going for 2.3. But like I said, if you are running with a 3-man, you'll do it a little bit faster. I think the reason my score was a little bit lower as well is because I killed all of the tanky enemies in the tank room a little too early, and I wasn't able to mop up all the trash because all the trash despawned. Normally, you'll mop that up first before killing the tanky stuff, and then you'll end up with like 2.63 million or something like that. So something to keep in mind, just to let you know. But I mean, even with getting all that stuff despawned relatively early, we're still, what is that, 60,000 above what we need for top 10%. If you really want to be extra safe as well, you can throw on like an extra modifier or something like that. I think we have room to get like another 4-stack modifier in if you want to, but yeah, more than easily fine as long as you, yeah, I mean, if you do it like, even if you're doing it like a minute slower than I did right there and you have bad luck with the despawns because you kill everything tanky too early, you're still good to go. And so with that, you have officially gotten a top 10% score in both the salt mines and the proving grounds, which will give you 50 points apiece, which will give you a total of 100 points, which will have you set up with enough points to get the Seraphim Mage helmet. And because the tiers are currently locked, the floors for the scores are no longer going to go up. You're not going to get moved down any tiers. So you are officially 100% good to go. It's locked in. You can rest easy, go to sleep, knowing that you have locked in this helmet. So I hope you found this video helpful. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, have a great day.